Essie, what's up, man?
Yeah, how are you, man? All good?
I'm good. We're
out here, man. We're out here, man.
But yeah, so we're here to talk about East Midlands Demons. And
Yeah. Where I started.
All about what you're doing.
Yeah, man. All of this shit, man. I mean, am I allowed to swear?
Yes.
Like, okay,
Yeah, no
cool, man. I was so worried. I thought you were keeping it like PG for a minute.
I don't think there's any point with the people we're having on. I think it's going to be it's impossible.
Alright, cool, man. No, that's cool. Well, I guess I should just start with like where I just started off with stuff. I guess like where I used to live in the middle of nowhere. Like literally, there's just fields everywhere, man. Like there's nothing there. Nearest shop is a garage, and it's like a mile away. Like it's treks getting anything there, and like.
That's funny because I had the same thing for like a couple of years. I used to live in a random village, and it's like it's weird because it's like it's horrible because you're like so far away from everyone else who's doing stuff.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I kind of liked it a little bit because you have that little bit of distance. Where you can
exactly.
Just sort of, like, get in your own
like
zone.
You've got the opportunity to actually be able to be out on your own and know there's nobody else about. It's it's strange, man. Like going from that to going to here where there's just people everywhere. Like really big difference. But I feel like having that opportunity of not having so many people around allowed me to spend more time doing creative things, and that's where I kind of just started. Like initially I started with drawing, like just like typical like doing like doodles and stuff. Like I feel like that's where a lot of like that's where a lot of artists usually start. But from there I was like, oh, I can kind of like I could do some of these and maybe see if I can put them on clothes or something. Like I thought that could be cool. Like that was like my initial thought, but I was like, oh, how can I do that? Like that's so expensive. Like doing that whole process. So I like put it to a side for a while. And I just focused on like graphic design kind of stuff, just like Photoshop kind of stuff, editing, this and that. And that's where the brand kind of originated, like just doing that, just like normal. They're all on the page, but they're all archived now. Like I'm not trying to let anyone see that anymore. History. Yeah, for real. But like I started with that, and I feel like from there that gave me like an idea as to what I wanted the brand to kind of look like and what I wanted the aesthetic to be. Because like at that time I could experiment with like so many different things, and it was like I could just do whatever, see what worked, see what didn't work, just see what kind of like matched my kind of vibes and stuff. So from there I was like,
interesting to know, because I always kind of assumed it started with clothing.
Oh yeah, man.
It started more
like just graphic design stuff. Yeah,
which kind of, now I think about it, makes sense with some of the earlier designs, and like definitely makes sense because I've noticed like as time's gone on, more of like the drawing stuff or like illustrations have come back into like the designs and stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
And, like,
that's it, man. Because I mean, when I found out, oh, I can actually print stuff, I was like, this is wild. I was like, I can actually just start doing it. And since I actually got like my machines and stuff, like I was like, okay, bet I'm just gonna start doing all of this myself. But I was running it from my bedroom. Yeah, for a while. Like,
it's cool because everything you make is like you made it with your hands. It's not like, because like obviously things going well, it'll get to the point where you can't physically make 1,000 t-shirts by yourself. Sure, but there's something special about knowing like
that someone's actually put their like hands to
like
it,
the
and
guy who designed it is the one who's like put making the time in
and actually putting the stuff apart and like putting it apart, putting it together. And like exactly like
designed it, manufactured it. It's all like done by you, because a lot of people just make the design and get it printed.
Yeah, that's something that like that always kind of like rubs me the wrong way when I see smaller brands doing that, because it's like if you like, it's just like you're investing. If you're investing money into things, invest it into yourself. Like why are you investing it into another company that's doing prints for like other companies and other brands and stuff, and you're not even got a guarantee on like quality or anything at that point? You're just doing it online.
Because that's the biggest thing we found when we did that run of like PHOTOMAFIA shirts, was like we went through like, obviously it was Red who actually did it and he was great, but like before that we went through like 4 different printers, like messaging back and forth being like, these guys aren't responding, or like they're sending us stuff that looks weird, and just like, and like because we work with a few different clothes brands as well, like all of them like seem to have similar experiences when it comes to manufacturing. Like a lot of them go to like different countries either, because they're just like, it's just cheaper and better quality than what you get here. Like,
for real.
Unless it's like someone who's like literally, like you said, like making it in their bedroom themselves, but then like you're going to do it for your brand, obviously, because that makes sense for you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's it, man. But like, I feel like with getting stuff manufactured like abroad and stuff, it's like you should only do it if you really, really have to. Like, I feel like if you've got a small brand like that, like I don't feel like you should be doing that straight up, because like
realistically you can do it yourself. If it's the only thing if your focus is the clothes, like I think it makes sense like for us looking into it, because we're not fashion designers.
Oh no, absolutely, absolutely.
But I think if you're like a fashion brand,
I mean in that sense, like, of course,
made it with their own brands.
That's it,
like,
man. Yeah.
Just a bit more real, a bit more like proper.
Of course.
Well, it's like anything. If you found out like a painter was just like sending it off to be manufactured, then it's like, I just have this idea, and they got something that would be a little bit, everyone would be like weird about it. It's
odd that clothes. It's like the same kind of vibes as like they've got those like anime factories where they have people like drawing like all night 24/7, and they just like have them under like really like weird conditions. It's strange, man, because it's like you can't guarantee like ethically like how your stuff's being put together and stuff when you're ordering it abroad. If you're doing it,
like, especially when it's art, it's just like who has the ownership and who actually made that.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
All that complication. Speaking of anime, like weird segue, but like like you did a series that had sort of like anime vibes in it. So I was just wondering about like
I did.
What informed the style of everything? What sort of
like I'm just trying to think which one it was for, because I know that I did a lot of like promotional stuff, a lot of anime promotional stuff for the Spike sunglasses that I've got on at the moment. Yeah. Like, I did a lot of like promotion around that. Are you talking more about like the actual designs that I did?
I think I remember some that had like anime girls. Like, was there one where she had like a rocket launcher or something?
Yeah.
Like
okay.
That?
Yeah. No, I do remember that.
In general, like there's like a very distinct style whether you're doing anime girls or like the shirt you did here with like the hearts. It's still like it's not just a heart on a shirt. It's still got like that sort of like
it's got a style to it.
The style. I was just wondering about the style of the whole brand.
I've done tattoos on stuff. I've done tattoos on myself before, and I really enjoy like the tribal kind of style. Like that's something that I've always
do
all of these ones here. Yeah, that's all me. Like. Yeah, I need to get a bit better though. Like I
think it's that thing again where it's like you did them on yourself by yourself. That's still like
man, it's just
like they're a lot better than what I'd imagine, because like like when you see people who are like I did my own stick and poke, and then you just see like a little smiley face, and you're like, oh, fair enough.
Oh, cool. That's on the bottom of your foot as well. It's like that's some weird placement, bro.
But then when people do it, like they look fucking mad. I have like mad respect, because you have to. It's like one, drawing's hard enough. Never mind when it like. Hurts at the same time.
For real,
it's like level, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But like, I really enjoy that style of like drawing and stuff. I find it really easy to draw. And then, like growing up, I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh. Still kind of into it a lot. You know, I really like all the character designs and stuff. So I feel like a mixture of both of those things, and just like, I don't know. There's a lot of different things that go into it, but I feel like those two things specifically. Like helped put those bits together, like for sure, because I was just like looking at loads of different Yu-Gi-Oh cards, watching loads of anime. And I was just like, I can do this, I can do that, and then just like I was using that to like.
So I guess if you were to define it as sort of like childhood style, kind of coming through.
Exactly, and it's just like kind of evolving it into a more. I don't know, better place, you know what I mean?
It's just like adding a bit of you into what you've seen, like
totally.
Putting the you in Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, like
it's for real. For real.
And it seems like it does resonate with people. Like obviously, it's sort of like it's a thing here in Northampton, but even at like gig in Brixton, there was people who were like walking around, and I was like, without like, so it took me like a second, like I saw it, and I was like. Is that one of Corey's? Like, I don't know who that guy is. Like, but it's, and then I was like looking at it, and there's like, once you actually look, you're like, that's definitely his design. And then I remember speaking to you about it, and you were even like, I don't know who it is.
Yeah, I was like, I got no clue, man. What was it? My friend told me about this when they went to the Brighton as well. They said they went to a house party and they saw people wearing it there. They're like, oh my God, I've got to take a picture. And they like sent it to me. I was like, no way. I was like, that's so cool. Like, I don't expect to see my things like all over the place like that. And I feel like
anyone does who's creative. You expect it just to be like
in one place, like where you're
or
making it.
Normally it's like in your own bedroom.
In my room,
and you see it in other
literally.
places and you're like, damn, someone actually gives a shit.
Yeah,
like,
someone actually enjoys it, and that's always really nice to see. Like knowing that someone's like picked that and they're like, I like that one, and then they're wearing it, and like I've got like people that are like, oh, it's my favorite hoodie, and I'm like, bro, like that's so nice. Like, I love that. Like, yeah, it's cool, man.
And that's probably especially where that like the fact that you made it with your own hands comes in a little bit harder as well, because you're like,
like they're
as if
actually
you had just
wearing my
printed
work.
it, you'd just be like, yeah, cool, that was
like
fun.
Batman.
But it's like, I'm sure it take like, how long does it take to like make like that hoodie?
So this one that I've got at the moment, I underestimated how long it was actually going to take. So I was like, I did the design, and I was like, oh, okay, this is nice design. I haven't done monogram in a while, so I thought let's bring it back. Doing it though.
What's monogram? Just for
monogram's like the style, so having like the picture and then the separation and then the picture. So you know how like Louis Vuitton or like Gucci will have like their monogram, and it'll be like their logo, and then it'll be like separation and their logo and then the separation. You know, usually being like diamonds and stuff. Like that's usually like the pattern that it's about.
Okay,
but,
so it's like actually quite intricate. Now I'm looking at it, I can see like this.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, exactly.
Stuff. Yeah,
that's it, man. But this hoodie itself, like doing the actual cutting of the designs, because I don't have to cut the designs myself. Like I've got a machine that does that for me now, but like I draw it all myself still, which is the main thing.
Well, I can imagine cutting out something that small with all those little extra lines. That's
could you imagine me sitting there with a scalpel trying to cut each one of those out and getting them all exactly the same?
Itself, and then
for the one
move,
so shit, I've got to start again. But nah, that they cut really quickly. It takes about an hour to like get all the designs cut, but then you got to sit there and get all of like the gaps out.
Oh, so all the inside parts as well.
Yeah, so
you still do have to do some.
You got to sit there for a while and do that. Yeah. So you just
and
sit
then actually
like
getting them in the right place and sticking and stuff. So it's actually more time than I even.
Oh yeah,
totally. Like, oh, okay.
So I think the printing overall though for this one, I'd probably say maybe took like 3 hours. Printing, weeding it out, and then actually putting the prints on, because actually putting the prints onto the piece is usually the quicker part.
Yeah, because I guess if you know where you're going, as long as it's lined up.
That's why it helps making a little concept beforehand. So it's like you can just look at it and be like, that's what I've got to do. Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever like fully freestyled a piece? Just been like,
yeah.
How did you find that experience? Or was it like?
It's fun. I enjoy doing just like really weird, just like freestyle stuff. But like I only enjoy doing that with like pens, because I can't really freestyle like a cutting out design, because then it's not the same. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But like I did these coats, I think it was last year, might have even been like the end of the year before, and they've all got like freehand like neo-tribal stuff like all on the arms.
Sick.
I might have worn it here at some point, I'm sure I did.
I think I've seen it maybe on like an Instagram story.
Yeah, for sure.
A bell. I think I remember.
Yeah, like that stuff was really fun, but like that didn't, and again that stuff doesn't take as long as you'd expect either, like with it being freehand, because you just sit there, you're just like just drawing it and it's all done, and it's like cool, like better do another one.
What do you use for that? Because it's sort of like I've spray painted on clothes, drawn on clothes and stuff. But the problem is it's like it looks really sick, and then you wash it, and then you're like, ah, fuck, okay, all that's gone.
Yeah, it depends really on what. It's more what kind of material you're actually drawing on rather than what you're using. Yeah. Because some cottons and stuff will hold a spray paint and they won't wash it out if it's mixed with the right kind of things. But you can also get like airbrush. Like airbrush is like the main thing for drawing on like clothing.
Because I've seen that's like a whole art form in itself, and that's what you tend to see when people do it, because it has the whole like biker history to it.
Yeah,
and, like,
exactly.
Now it's normally like a fairground thing, but like that
that
probably makes sense why they use that, because I guess it's different than different paint from spray paint, because it's not got glue in it.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's the thing with spray paint, like it sits on top that like solid layer.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what peels off.
Yeah.
And then what's left absorbed isn't as pigmented as you want it to be.
That's it.
I mean, I was just making them for myself, so it's not as bad, but like...
Yeah, it's whatever, innit?
It's like, if they got destroyed, it was like, whatever. And I was like buying, like, going on Vinted, and it would be like people selling secondhand, like, Primark hoodies that are like £1. Yeah. So they were freezing cold to wear. They were awful.
Yeah, just like the worst quality. Yeah, for real.
So that probably makes sense for all of my struggle with that.
No, for real. When it just reminded me when you said about the airbrush stuff and you mentioned like carnivals and stuff, it just reminded me of how wild that artwork is.
It's so mad. And it's like you see some of it, just like carnival. Like
yeah, it'll be like Elvis and like an alien, and then like Michael Jackson all like next to each other. It's like, why?
But it's so funny because when you go past on the ride, it's like, oh yeah, Michael Jackson, Elvis, and then you sit and look at it, and it's like all distorted.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
quite lined up. Properly. Like, oh, it all looks a bit weird.
Yeah,
like,
really, really strange,
it's
man.
like just enough to get away with copyright, I think.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
literally
bizarre sort of looking stuff.
That's literally it, man.
But it must take ages to do.
Bro,
gotta respect the artist, but
oh yeah, totally. But at the same time, it's like, nah, I ain't got.
Like, why is you've got that much talent to put into a craft and you pick that?
Yeah, and you're just doing portraits as well. That's wild. Like,
maybe it's just a side hustle though. They might do some mad stuff on the side.
Yeah, no, that's true actually. Even still though, shit's just crazy, man. It's just crazy.
But yeah, and then like speaking of doing different stuff, like you've done skirts recently.
Oh yeah. Sort of, yeah, so like initially with doing the printing stuff, it was just t-shirts, hoodies. That was like the main thing, and I didn't really want to go anywhere else with it for a while. So I was like, okay, I just want to focus on doing designs, working out how I can get placements and stuff different and making it like look unique and like my own kind of thing. I was working on that for a while, and then I got to a point where I was like, okay, there's only so many designs I can keep on pumping out without it all just feeling like samey to me. Like other people might look and be like, oh, it's a new design, cool, bet. And it's like I feel like other people might enjoy that, but like for me personally, I want to make like new things.
Yeah,
and, like actually,
I think that's every creative though, because I've found like you get too embedded in like a style or like a certain way of doing things, and you feel like, okay, that's the brand now. I've got to stick to it. But for you just like, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. Yeah, and like eventually, I found like for me, it was just like because you're doing the same thing. Then you feel less passionate, and then it's still the same thing, but it is just worse because you're not like excited about it, and then so you have to like not destroy your own brand a little bit.
No,
but, like,
no, you just got exactly. You just got to try something new, innit? Exactly.
And it's always like good in like a weird way.
Yeah.
So like, how have you found it? Because it's like obviously, like you say, everything before was sort of like unisex, pretty much. So
I've really enjoyed it actually, like because I've been used. It's all of the skirts that I've been making recently are all upcycled. So that's like another thing where I'm not having to go out and buy blanks and stuff for this. Like I'm just making it from scratch. I'm like looking at a pair of jeans and be like, okay, bet, what can I do with that? I've worked out how to take it all apart, how to resize everything, so it is like a tailored piece. Like they're all to measure. Like the whole process of it though, really fun. Like just being able to like do stuff with denim that like I didn't really think I could do, and just like working out how I can do like different shapes and stuff, like adding stuff to it, taking stuff away, be like, oh, that works, like that looks really cool. And like the final like pieces, like how they came out in the end, it was like really, really nice. Like I was gassed with how they came out, and like I've got a lot of good feedback on them as well. So I'm just trying to like maybe do more stuff like that because it is enjoyable. Like, cause I feel like I've learned a lot from doing it as well.
Yeah, and it's all stuff like I've always found when you like divert from your like usual stuff, like you say, that's where you learn the most. And it can be like one thing from that like feeds back into, because you still go back to that sort of like core thing. Yeah. But it's just making that better, because you get to a point where it's like, I can't make this any better without trying something completely new.
That's it, man.
That's my feeling towards it, which is sick. Like, but yeah, it looks cool. And then as well, like I'm looking at a very like cool hat there with like it's just like the hardware side of what you do. Like how'd that come about? Because obviously you came from graphic design stuff, so.
Actually, that's a good point. Actually, like I obviously started with like prints and stuff, but like doing the metal. So I was looking at prints. It's like, oh, there's only so much you can do with a print, like having it on something. And I feel like there's always so much extra space that's just unused. And I was just like, what can I put there? That's not a print. And I was like, oh, maybe chains. I just had a thought one day. I was like, oh, maybe chains. And then I had another thought. I was like, well, maybe pins. And then I just started like looking for like, I was using like Instagram and stuff just for like research, just like scrolling through like, just looking at like big brands, see what like they do for their like weird conceptual stuff. And just be like, okay, how can I try and work that and make it like something that someone's gonna wear? Do you know what I mean? Because like you see these conceptual pieces and they're wild.
Yeah, there's sometimes like a thing in fashion where it's like too far. Like my girlfriend does fashion, she's sometimes just like, even she's like looking at runway stuff and it's like, yeah, but that's not, no one's ever gonna wear that. Like it's a cool idea, and it can be in the same way that like doing something different can feed back into the more normal stuff. But it's like you can't just do that stuff, and especially if you're then trying to like sell it on so you can do something else that is just not viable to just be crazy all the time.
I've done like research, like I read a little bit about like the fashion shows and stuff, and like why they make those pieces so weird, and it's more like so people can see what their aesthetics are going to be for their normal pieces for that season, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So because they always work like a year ahead almost.
Yeah, exactly. But like they'll have like, so say like it's some really weird like wacky dress with like loads of big spikes and whatever on it. No one's going to wear that. They're not going to make it. They're not going to sell it. But on the actual clothes that they do release, there'll be aspects of that piece.
Yeah, like a toned down version.
Yeah, exactly. And like I feel like that's it's cool. Like I like that, and like I want to get into doing that. Like I keep on thinking like costume design stuff, man. Like that shit would be so fun.
Have you ever considered doing like a really crazy conceptual piece, or is that what you mean? Like no, I've been having I haven't got anything like properly planned yet, but I've been having some thoughts of some really like weird like denim pieces, and like I'm trying to work with leather as well this year. But to do that, I need like an industrial sewing machine, and to like tear through it. And stuff.
Because the one that I've got is not going to be able to do that at all. Like I'm just going to bust it straight away. So I just got to get a good one. But that's going to be a bit spenny, but I'm sure I'll be able to find one somewhere.
Yeah.
But once I do that, I'm gonna be making some crazy stuff, man. Definitely.
I guess that opens up way more doors in terms of like types of items you can make, and just
for sure. Yeah, because
everything, and it feeds in with the aesthetic, which is quite like alt.
That's it.
Like it feeds in with that new, whatever this new thing that's popped up, which a lot of other guests of this block of recording are also
it's strange. Not really sure what the genre is exactly, but
that's good because it means it's somewhat kind of new.
Yeah,
I feel like things where it's like too well defined is because it's just sort of like like you know like the biggest problem, like you spoke about anime earlier, and it's like the biggest problem spoke about in that field is that like all the young new animators, their only point of reference for anything they're doing is like older animes, and that's why you watch new anime and you're like, this is the same shit I saw
for real
10 years ago. Like, can we do something new?
So I feel like it's the same with just the like film industry in general. It's all just like remakes, and it's all just, if it's not a remake, it's like a different version of the same thing.
I think it's just like to even like a wider extent, just like not all artists, because obviously there's obviously people who are sticking out there, but I think like it becomes a point where everyone's like, I like to blame social media for fucking every problem in the world, but like there is an element of like sometimes like you sit and you scroll and then you're like, that's a really cool idea, and then in my head I'm like, well, I can't just do that because someone else has done that. And then like I've had it even like you'll scroll and you'll see something cool, and then you'll scroll 2 more times and it's someone else doing the exact same thing. And I'm like, this is the same reel but different faces.
It's like huh?
Is everyone just making, because everyone's trying to get on trends to
exactly.
be like, so
that's it.
Becomes
it ruined. I feel like social media and stuff has like not ruined, but it's like it's had a big impact on like the way creatives have to work and like have to push their own things, because the way that they set that stuff up, and like because so many people use it, it's like a key thing that artists use to be able to push their stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like social media is like, so key.
It is and it like isn't in a weird way.
Yeah.
Because I feel, but the gut feeling is like, this is the new format, so we have to use it.
Yeah, of course.
These people are doing well, so the immediate reaction is like, I'll do what they're doing.
That's why.
And blow up, and that's where you see like, especially in the photography space, like you can easily like go to the nearest city, take pictures in the rain, put Blade Runner music in the background and say, come with me doing street photography, and blow up. Like and there's certain like there's that in every aspect of creativity, but the problem is it's like, and it does well for them, because if you blow up off of that you can make a career out of it, but there's so many people who are like big from that who aren't like, you try and break through and understand their work and you're like, oh, there's nothing else there. Like
it's literally just that.
Like we're just repeating ourselves again. It's like, where are we moving forward? Which is why like when you do find something that's like, it's like when you talk about like doing something different, it's like small things that are like, oh, this is new for me, this is interesting. And if you like, that's what I'm always looking for as well, like with my photography stuff.
No, of course. It's like little things that can differentiate you from other people. Do you know what I mean?
Well, not even that, just differentiate the new bodywork from the last body of work.
Yeah, of course. Like, showing like some evolution and stuff.
And just sort of like, how do you keep just keeping yourself entertained is almost like key, and then if you're entertaining yourself, then it might be entertaining to other people.
I feel that.
Like,
I feel like that's more like time like what a lot of creatives feel, because like for me making stuff, I make it because I like it.
Yeah.
Like I don't like, even with the skirts, like I made that, I was like, damn, if I could wear that, like I'd wear that shit. But like I can't, like that stuff's too small for me, man. That's way too small for me, and like I don't think it would suit my legs either. So you know what I mean? I've got hairy legs, bro.
It's like the it's the burden of being a fashion designer. I suppose you design stuff that's super cool, but you can't wear it. Yeah. It's like a photographer. You take cool pictures of you, but you never have a good one of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
well, someone else is taking it now, so I can't take my pics of me, even though it would be cool to have. But like you can't, because as soon as you hand the camera to someone else, it's in their hands.
Exactly.
Now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, God, we fucking just went into it there.
Yeah, man. That was good. That was a good little tangent, bro. Yeah. Right.
Is there anything else you want to like add?
I mean, I guess I can talk about like one of the drops I've got coming up soon. I was sat one night in like my studio. This is like some like weird inspo how I got like an idea for this. I just sat looking, and I was looking at my tobacco pouch. You know how they have like the weird pictures and stuff on them.
Yeah, like this is what will happen to you.
Yeah. All the weird medical ones, and like the one that I had the teeth on it. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a picture of that. And I'm gonna post it, and like I posted it, and I was like, and I looked at it for a while. I was like, so like, maybe I could do something with this. And then I was like, is there one with eyes? And I was like, there is one with eyes, like with pictures of eyes on the pouches. I was like, okay, bet that's a face. Then I just got
the key component.
Yeah, I was like, I just got to find the other pouch, and then I got one. And I was like, okay, bet. And then I just cut it out and stitched it onto a hoodie, just like a face. And I was like, this is that's all I need to do. I was like, that looks perfect as it is. But I realized logistically, I can't go out and buy all of these tobacco pouches.
I like that the photos that are meant to be like, oh, that's grim, I'll stop smoking, have just inspired you to be like, no, I need to buy more of this.
Yeah,
so
I need
to smoke all of this so I can it's like the complete opposite.
Exactly, man.
A nice middle finger to the government telling us what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. But when I came to that realization, I was like, okay, I've got to try and work out like a way around this. I got linked to this website that does like DTG printing, something that I can't do.
What's that?
It's like you can get a photo, like a full color photo, and you can get it printed onto fabric.
Oh my god, that's what me and Alex have been like trying to find. But we just search like photo printing, you just get weird.
You get the worst stuff, man. Like the one that I've got is good. I'll link it to you after, but like
we're gonna need that.
Yeah, it's so worth it, man. Because like you can just take photos like on your phone, you just put it in there, make sure it's good quality, and then they just print it for you. You choose what they print it on, like what size of stuff, and it's cheap. So like, I got like the biggest t-shirt I could get. I got like a 4XL t-shirt. I was like, I'm gonna get all the front printed, all of the back printed, just with all of the eyes and the mouth. Got that sorted, and then I did that, cut it all out, and now I've got all of this stuff ready.
You can move it
exactly. So now, and I wore the concept piece down to a show in Brighton, and like that's the most feedback from something that I've never released.
Yeah,
like the most feedback you want. And people were like, "Oh, where's that hoodie from?" It's like I made it like half hour. Like I made it before I came out. Like I literally made it like 10 minutes before I left. Like I was like, I need something new to wear. Yeah, like so I was like, let's put it on, let's do it. And loads of good feedback. But then it just like from having those conversations, it made me realize I need to get this stuff printed and get it done like properly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
So that seems like an exciting direction it's going in.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I mean that it kind of links back to how I began with like graphic design stuff, because now I can go back to doing that again. Yeah. With my improved like sense of how to do things now, and I can now get those things printed and actually use them on things. So it's kind of like full circle for it.
Yeah,
so,
that's super cool.
Yeah, no, it's good, man.
Next stage.
Yeah.
But so thanks, man. It's been
that's cool, man. Episode. Yeah, man. It's been a pleasure, bro.
I feel like I've slowly got calmer throughout it because it's been a long time.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's been good. We talked.
No, totally, man. That's been good.
So thanks for coming on. Obviously, I didn't know you were coming till like.
No, dude, I didn't know I was gonna be here. Like, I just came in and sat down and I was like, ooh, let's do it. I was like, let's go. Let's do it, man. Nah, cool.
Thanks, man.
No worries, bro. That's it.